only one habit away from total failure. But the great news is, you're probably only one habit away from absolute success in whatever area you choose it to be. Your micro habits equate to your macro successes. And what I mean by that is the small little tiny daily habits that you do equate to the big badass results that you get in life. So if you're doing healthy habits on the daily, then you're going to be getting really amazing, positive, fruitful outcomes on the long term. That if we want to flip that, if you're performing negative habits, and let's say stuff like smoking, maybe drinking a little bit too much of the old alcohol, when you start to go down that route, you're going to have negative consequences long term, right? Obesity is hard. Showing up to the gym every day is hard. Pick your hard. Spending your money shopping every week and being broke is hard. Being really smart with your money and investing it is hard. Choose your hard. Having a really direct, upfront conversation with a loved one or a colleague is hard. Avoiding those conversations and brushing them under carpet is hard. Pick your hard. Look, life is not easy. Life has challenges, but you've got to try and think, okay, where's the high road? If I take that, what are the long-term consequences? And that's what I always try to encourage all my one-to-one coaching clients to focus on, is what are you doing on the daily and how's that going to impact you long-term? Now, if you look at the research around neuroscience, by the time we reach 35 years of age, 95% of what we do, how we react, all of it is automated behaviors, responses, beliefs, habits. It's subconscious, it's happening, it's just a response. Somebody might say something to us and we just trigger back because that's our default. Now that's by the time we're 35 years of age. So we've only got 5% of conscious thought and decision and process. Now the great thing about that, guys, is that habits, if they're bad, they can be changed, right? We are in full control of the habits that we exercise each and every day. And if I go back and look at my own life, I started at 9 years old as a drummer. And drumming is one of those like delayed gratification things. You don't get good at a musical instrument overnight. It just doesn't happen. The same as martial arts. You've got to put the yards in. The same as entrepreneurship. You've got to put the yards in. So with drumming, I started to practice 30 minutes a day, every day, because I enjoyed it and there was outcomes. I wanted to join a band and I wanted to perform and I wanted to enjoy it more. So I practiced 30 minutes a day. Within a couple of years, started to see some confidence build and competence. And I want you to remember that, guys, with repetition comes confidence. And as you get more confident, you get more competent. Confidence and competence work hand in hand. So I started at 9. Now within 3 or 4 years, I became a world solo drumming champion. So I was about 13 years of age. And then I went on to win that title, the same title the following year. And over the next 10 years, I went on to win another 5 world titles in a band. And so I'm saying that to you not to impress you, but to impress upon you that repetition builds results. Repetition creates success. Nobody's an overnight success. You know, you think of Serena Williams, she did not become an overnight success. That was years and years of repetitive practice and habit formation. So when I go back to that experience for me, it really reinforced at a young age that my habits are a little microscopic view of my overall result and experience of life. So I want you to think about what you're aiming towards. And guys, have a look at your own life. Do you drink a little bit too much alcohol? Do you maybe smoke cigarettes or vape? Are you maybe not in full control of your diet? Do you neglect exercise and your physical body? What are some of your habits? Are they maybe gossip, negative self-talk, lacking in self-belief? What are your negative habits? And the question I've got for you is, what's it going to cost you? What will it cost you if you don't change? What if you stay in that area? You continue to eat those foods. You continue to neglect the gym. You continue to get more and more obese and unhappy and drinking more alcohol. What's it going to cost you? Fast forward 50 years. How will that impact your relationships? How will that impact your relationship with yourself? How will that impact your experience of life? How will that impact your wealth? How will it impact your health? How will that impact every area of your life? Write that down. Write down one of your bad habits or a few of your bad habits. And if you compound those habits for the next 50 years, how's that going to impact you? So many of us don't think of those long-term consequences. We think of the short-term benefits. A drink of alcohol, oh, it's great. On a long week, on Friday night, I just want a glass of wine just to unwind. Or, oh, I just use alcohol to relax. Or, that's just a good way to be social. We often have different ways of normalizing these negative behaviors or these bad habits. So I want you to think of one of your bad habits, and I want you to think of the long-term consequence. Bring that long-term negative consequence into the present. So when you go to perform that bad habit, whether it's smoking or whatever it might be, think of the long-term consequence. Bring it right into the present moment. It's so important that you do that. Now, what I want to share with you are a few tips on how you can form new habits. Now, there's actually a strategy to performing and installing new habits. So many of us start January 1st and try to get all these new ideas and habits and dreams, only to fall flat on our face mid-February, if not before. The statistics are horrific. You know, over 90% of people by February have given up on their New Year's resolutions. Why? Well, they haven't thought about the patterns required. There's a system required to form a new habit. And it's actually at a cellular level, and it works. So I want you to take a little note of a couple of key points. I'm going to share 3 epic points with you on how to install habits. Point number 1, here we go, right? A habit has to have a trigger. A habit must have a trigger. So if you think about it, when you go into a dark room, the darkness of that room triggers something. You feel a little bit uncertain. You want to see what's going on. You want to feel safe. What do? That darkness and that experience of uncertainty triggers you to hit the light. Now, when we start a new habit, it's often hard to get a trigger that works. One of the best ways to trigger a new habit is by starting your trigger after an existing behavior. So let's think of something you do every day. What's one thing you do every single day? Let's take brushing your teeth. Hopefully you brush your teeth at least once a day. Maybe twice. I hope you do. So you might think, okay, I want to get physically stronger. So I'm going to start with 10 push-ups a day, 10 sit-ups a day, and 10 squats. Now I'm just forgetting to do them. That's okay. You want your trigger to be brushing your teeth. So after you've brushed your teeth, right after that, you're going to perform your new behavior. That's your trigger, okay? So that's step number 1, is to set up your trigger. So what you want to do is say something like this. After I, and then insert an existing behavior. After I brush my teeth, after I put on my shoes, after I get out of bed. Things that you do every day without thinking. So your sentence is, after I, and then insert whatever it is, brush my teeth, I will, and then insert your new behavior. So after I brush my teeth, I will perform my exercise. All of a sudden, you've got a trigger happening every day. Teeth, exercise, teeth, exercise. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is to have a positive behavior and understand the mechanics of it. So for me, exercising, okay, how do I do the push-ups? How do I do the squats? How am I going to do it safely? Whatever your behavior is, do a bit of research or get a bit of guidance. All the greats in life have coaches, mentors, teachers. It could be YouTube for you. It could be a one-to-one coach. It could be a course. It could be a book. Get some advice on how you're going to carry out this new behavior, because I can guarantee you whatever you're about to do, some human somewhere has done it before. So look, and success always leaves clues. Success leaves clues every time. So look and see what you can learn from someone else. That's step 2, right? So step 1, you've got the trigger, and you want to perform that trigger after something you're already doing. Once I brush my teeth, and then going to exercise. Step 2 is the actual behavior. That's the habit itself. Performing that habit, right? So that's really, really important. Hope you're writing these down, guys. Now, before we go to step 3, if you guys would really like some help in developing massive purpose in your life, massive passion, I want to give you a free toolkit. It's one that I use with my high performance coaching clients. All you got to do is go below, and whilst you go below, please smash that subscribe button. You'll see a link down below in the description, and you can go there and get a free copy of this amazing toolkit. It's called my Life Toolkit. And in it, I look at legacy, impact, fulfillment, and energy management. And I'm giving it to you for free. So all you got to do is head down below and that'll be emailed to you. Click the link and you'll get it. Now, last point, step 3 of installing a habit successfully. This is the most important part that most of us forget, but it's the most exciting part, the reward. A habit, if you want to install it successfully over the long term, you must have a reward after you perform the habit. So the way our brain works is when we perform a habit and we then get rewarded, there's a dopamine release. And that dopamine release is addictive. Some of you guys might get it when you're on your phone and a notification comes up. Some of you guys might get it when your new girlfriend or your new boyfriend has sent you a text. And you're like, oh my goodness. So when we get a reward, dopamine is released and it makes sure that we get into a habit of wanting to repeat that habit over and over and over. So if you're trying to do exercise and you're struggling, or you're trying to get to the gym and you give up after a while, or you're trying to eat better, but you give up after a while, part of that process is that you're not installing a reward. You've got to have a reward, and it's got to be genuinely exciting. It's got to stimulate that dopamine. It's got to make you feel good. So I want you to think of a reward. After you do that piece of exercise, what's your reward? After you do it for a week, do you go and treat yourself to a new magazine? After you do it for a month, you go and get a new piece of clothing. After you do it for 3 months, do you get a weekend away somewhere fun? Whatever it is, it's important to have milestone rewards. That's a massive part of installing new habits. So I want you to know you're one habit away from the most incredible life. And if you already have an incredible life and it's really charged, well, there's always another level, right? We've always got that next level that we can take things to. So I want you to think, okay, what's one habit that I can shift out? And what's a new habit I can shift in? And the last little piece of advice I'll give you is do not overwhelm yourself by trying to install multiple habits at once. Pick one. If you're getting up early, that's a new habit. Just stick to that. If you want to get fit, make a fitness plan and install a new habit. Just do that. Don't try and give up coffee, alcohol, smoking, plus get up early, plus go to the gym all at once. That is overwhelm. Keep it simple, enjoy it, and think with the end in mind. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the content today, please smash that subscribe button below. And if you want to become part of my community, I've got an amazing free Facebook group. Please come and join us. The link is in the description below. And also, if you've got any questions about today's session, I'd love to know. Just comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. Have the most amazing day.